Alrighty, well you know who we're talking about this time. Mister, I am proud of my Windsor V8. Right, and it's... How much is he running on fuel on this fucking thing? 77 US a week? Last week, when Mike paid for it, and now it's 73 US? What, are you fucking joking? 70 something a week, and all you're doing is sitting inside one city, and you're going through 77, 73 US a week. You know, the price of fuel in Australia is damn near double what you're paying over there. I'm not saying it's fully double, but, you know, when he's spending, you know, 77, 73, to us that'd be 110, 120 US. And you convert that through to Australian terms, it's probably, yeah, like about 160 a fucking week. That is ridiculous. That is unbelievable. For someone inside a city that does it. You know, even when I had the old wagon that I've sort of, you know, giving up on because of the vacuum issues in it, that in its, you know, 400,000 kilometre, getting near the end of its days, sort of fuel efficiency, not very good fuel efficiency, that would run me about $100 a week. And that is going fucking hours and hours of drive. That's like 3 hours driving a day. Times 5 days does me $100 a week. This guy's just farting around inside a city. And in Australian terms, it's equivalent of 160 bucks worth of fuel that he's going through. Unbelievable. My God, oh, I'm so proud it's a Windsor V8 because they're better, you know, they're the Canadian-made ones. That's where the Hellcat comes from, that same town or whatever. You know, big fucking Chrysler Hellcat engine. But very good engine, mate. Okay. But meanwhile, you got my van, 25 miles to the gallon. I could probably do a similar mileage, and I wouldn't be going through 77 US dollars. You know, it'd probably... it'd be lucky if it was 25, you know. Fantastic efficiency. You know, I just can't understand how you do that much. You put, you know, oh, here I am. He's living off, you know, $1, $2. Let's give him big. Woo! They give me fucking $1.99. Hang on a minute, bro. You're going through like 11 bucks a day worth of fuel. That's before you've even eaten. Before you've even stuffed your face with blooming some Greek restaurant, greasy, spicy fucking chicken from Greek place, Persian place, blah, blah, blah. You know, something that's going to give you another stomachache inevitably. You need 11 bucks just to keep the engine running. Holy smoke. But meanwhile, when we've got steering box problems, it's probably $35 for another steering box in that, you know, second hand or whatever. You know, what happens? Oh, well, I've got another set of sunglasses. Well, that'll be about pair number 15. I've got a Trump hat, and I've got a moo-moo, and at $22 each, he gets 4 hubcaps. Meanwhile, the steering box, probably 35 bucks second hand, maybe 50 bucks new. Nope, not happening. And, well, it gets better. Remember that shifter that he changed 9 months ago or something? Well, I'm going to show you something with that in a minute. Before I get to that, it reminds me of what Nomadic Fanatic was saying once. Not that I watched that smart ass, but, you know, he had this van and the starter motor shit the bed on the Tioga, whatever it was, blah, blah, number 2, whatever it was. You know what I'm talking about. And he mentioned when the starter motor shit itself that he fixes that, but everything else around it is still a 30-year-old part. All the other parts still 30-year-old parts. Yeah, well, you can now say the same about Elbow. But as for that little shifter that you know, fucked up 9 months ago. Well, let's have a look here.
Big camper vans. I wanted to show you guys that's what it costs to fill up
We don't care.
a Class B camper van. It's not cheap, guys.
Well, you know, I'm pretty certain that that thing would take the 250 cubic inch 6-cylinder. So why don't you fucking get one of those? Or, you know, like if you had one of those in the first place, you know, it wouldn't be much of an issue, would it? I suppose it hasn't done a great mileage, so you don't really want to be changing engines. But it is taking a little bit of oil, but, you know, that's just old seals being old seals, of you know, it's back main seals on those older Ford engines. It's, you know, they have a lifespan, and it may not be a mileage span. It might be more like a year span, because the oil's still been rotting away at them for 30 years, you know. Not many seals do well after 30 years.
I gotta get this,
That's his fourth go at hitting it in.
little thing keeps on falling out, the little pin to hold the shifter here.
My God, you've got some sort of little pin. Oh, fuck me drug. What sort of pin are we talking about? Are we talking about one of these pins that just looks like a little bolt? Or do you mean an actual collet clip? You know, like one of those collet pins that you know, like a split pin as my dad calls them, but they call it collet pin or whatever the fuck it is. And you know, you stick them through, and then you got two sides, and then you got to bend one way, or bend them both in opposite direct. Dude, my dad got like a pack of 50 of them for like $3. You know, which works out about $2 fucking 50 American, $2.40 US for a pack of 50. What's the bulk cost you? Like another fucking $1 or something? Here he is. No fucking hammer, no nothing decent here. And, you know, what's he doing? What is he doing? Yeah. You have a listen to what he's hitting it in with.
I gotta get this, little bit.
Too much plastic in that one. You know what that is, don't you? Yeah. Fucking keys. He's trying to hit the pin in with his keys. Which then makes me wonder something else. Just listen again to the audio.
Keeps on falling out, the little pin to hold the shifter here.
The fucking van is running while he's using the keys to hit the pin in. I got a funny feeling it's one of these ignitions where you can pull the fucking keys out of the ignition with the engine running. That reminds me, years ago, my first propane car, I was driving this, blah, 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 where did I get the fucking thing? I was driving it in 2004 through to the start of 2009. Yeah. And, you know what? I used to be able to drive along with that bloody thing. And there's one time there, I hit a fucking bump and the keys fell out the ignition and fell on the floor. The ignition was that fucked. But here old Tubbs is hammering away with the keys to knock this pin in while the engine's running. Oh my gosh. Like, going on about, you know, oh, you don't want to be stuck in a dangerous area in case your van breaks down and his shifter pin's fallen out and his ignition's in such good condition that you could probably pull the dipstick out and stick the fucking dipstick in the ignition. You know, she'd be a fucking prime job for a screwdriver. Hell, the way it's going, you could probably stick a fucking zip tie in the end of the bastard, or you get the end of your sunglasses. Like that, and stick that straight in the damn ignition. Oh, it's dangerous around here. You know, fucking, my gosh, dangerous around here, and he's driving something that, you know, yeah, it's just about coming to bits in his hands, you know. God blimey. Always got money for everything that doesn't matter, though, you know. I don't know. Anyway, I think the end of monetisation will soon sort him out, and you know, it's a bit like back in the days before I got this new ceiling in here. I've still got to move that light back, by the way. You know, I used to have a lot of cobwebs, and I used to have a lot of spiders that had come out in between the planks. And like we've still got on the back wall here. And even though it's tongue and groove, they had enough of a gap that these little spiders had come out. And it didn't matter if I wiped all the blooming cobwebs off the roof, they'd all be back again in 2 weeks. But the best of all was up here on the window. And what had happened here, I've wiped the inside ones out, but there's still a few out. Oh, that's inside. Oh, look, he's even in there visiting us right now. And, you know, what had happened is a fly had come in, and nature would take its course. I just have to put up with this bastard for an average of 30 seconds, maybe a maximum of about 45, and inevitably the bastard would hit them cobwebs and get killed by a spider, and that'd be it. Things would just take their course. So I wouldn't go around spraying and killing all the spiders off because they took care of the flies and things were taking its course. You just let it happen. And it looks like all this YouTube, so they reckon YouTube is trying to expand more to YouTube TV and turn itself more into another cable TV network and start putting the squeeze on people with low subs, and in the end they're going to be putting the squeeze on everybody, and it's just going to rise up and up until they got fuck all people that are getting fuck all from YouTube. And you know, we just got to wait till July, and nature's going to take its course, and it won't be a problem anymore. But oh man, 99% of you trolls don't have a CDL. You know. Well, you know, don't be so sure. 99% of you trolls, 99%, I have the, yeah, okay. What's that there? Heavy vehicle driver's license. Cars. 1, Hyundai. 2, old Ford. 3, new Ford. What do you got? 30-year-old Ford. What's the oldest thing I'm driving? 1997. 99% of us trolls don't have cars, the keys can fall out of the ignition. 99% of us trolls don't need to hit the pin in for the shifter before we drive out of the car park. And a good percentage of, well, not the women in the drama community, but some of the older trolls, there's quite a few of them. You know, we do have CDLs. Just saying.